Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm just on time. I'm shaking because I had some technical issues and I wasn't prepared for. So when I play, and I'm kind of doing this. Wait a minute. I'm so sorry. When I get to the video clips, please let me know if you cannot hear the audio because I'm not sure. And right now I'm like on the verge of going into a panic attack. So I apologize, but I'm going to kick this off. If you cannot hear me, please let me know. And I will, well, let me do this. First, let me get over here. Okay, so hi everyone. So I'm going to start this over. I'm so sorry. Hi everyone. This is Stina. Welcome back to Motive and Method. If you're new here, I look at true crime through a communication lens. I earned a BA in communication with honors, and I have about 30 years of experience in writing, verbal communication, messaging, and language-based work, including my current full-time work in consultative sales. And consultative sales is really about listening closely, not just to what people say, but what they emphasize, what they avoid, how they frame a situation, and what conclusion they may be trying to lead you in. I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not an attorney. My focus here is communication, wording, framing, narrative patterns, and the way language can shift responsibility, soften behavior, or redirect attention. When I use the word framing, I don't just mean someone's opinion. I mean the way a person presents information so the audience is guided toward a particular understanding. I'm not really seeing anybody here. I'm not sure if I'm live streaming. So can you let me know if anyone's here? So let me check. Just say hi if you can hear me and everything. It shows I'm live. Oh, great. Okay, okay. Thank you, Ruth Channel. Good morning. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so nervous. About to cry, actually. I had some technical issues and I'm not. Hi, Bowman, 2239. It's great to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. Thank you, guys. So when I play, what I'm going to do is I'm playing video clips, but I have them on cards so that I don't want to risk copyright, anything with copyright. And so when I play that, please let me know right away if you cannot hear the audio. And I'm only going to do like 4 questions and answers in this one because there's just a lot to unpack there. And plus I'm nervous. And to be totally transparent, I'll just be honest about this. I suffered from a severe panic disorder for years. And I'm not going into a panic attack, thank God. But maybe because I was too busy trying to figure out this stuff. So thank you so much. So I'll start all over. So hi, everyone. This is Tina. Welcome back to Motive and Method. If you're new here, I look at true crime through a communication lens. I earned a BA in communication with honors, and I have about 30 years of experience in writing, verbal communication, messaging, and language-based work, including my current full-time job, full-time work in consultative sales. And consultative sales is really about listening closely, not just to what people say, but what they emphasize, what they avoid, how they frame a situation, and what conclusion that may be trying to lead you toward. So I'm not a psychologist and I'm not an attorney. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys. But I am emotional, I'll tell you that right now. Okay. Um, Thank you, Jay Bowman. I'm not a psychologist and I'm not an attorney. My focus here is communication. So it's all in wording, framing, narrative patterns, and the way language can shift responsibility, soften behavior, or redirect attention. Thank you, Ruth Ann. Ruth Ann 85. I appreciate it. When I use the word framing, and I want to say this because someone left a comment once that I tend to use words that I assume that people know because I know it, and I know that's kind of like tunnel vision here. So when I use the word framing, I don't just mean someone's opinion. I mean the way the person presents information, so the audience is guided toward a particular understanding. Framing is all about choices. What details are emphasized? What details are minimized? What words are repeated? What gets left out? Where is responsibility placed? Who is made sympathetic? Who is made unreasonable? Who becomes the problem? So when I say Natalie is reframing Mackenzie, I'm not saying she's necessarily sitting there thinking, let me manipulate everyone. Although many of us can think that's exactly what she's doing, but I digress. But that's not the point. The point is that her language repeatedly invites us to see Mackenzie through a softer, more sympathetic lens. And in a case like this, those choices matter because the frame can change how the audience emotionally receives the same set of facts. So today, I'm looking at the first section of, and yes, I'm following my own script because if I go off script, I ramble like a crazy woman, I think. So today, I'm looking at the first section of Natalie Shirilla's interview with Chris Cuomo. I originally considered covering more of the interview, but this first section has enough going on all by itself. And plus, I'm new to this live streaming, so I wanted to make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'm treating this as part one, and the focus is how Natalie reframes who Mackenzie is before the interview gets deeper into the crash evidence, the relationship, POTS, or the legal issues. And so you'll also notice I'm using cards while the audio plays instead of showing the full video. I did that intentionally to keep the focus on the language and to minimize copyright concerns, especially because the original video includes visuals and images from other sources. So for this analysis, what matters most is what is being said and how it is being framed. I'll be glancing at the chat as we go, but I want to keep the analysis moving. So if I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. I may circle back between sections and we'll open it up for discussion toward the end. And if you enjoyed this kind of analysis and want to support this channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Those things help more than you know. You can also join the channel as a member. So I have memberships up now for extra perks. And since this is live, super chats, super stickers, and gifted memberships may also be available in the chat if you want to support the channel that way. So the pattern, so we'll move on now. So the pattern I want you to listen for today is what I'm calling identity repair. Natalie is being asked about the public version of Mackenzie. Reckless, aggressive, volatile, dangerous. And she repeatedly moves us toward a different version. Young, little, you'll hear that a couple of times. She's so little, misunderstood, loyal, spirited, fun, vibrant, adventurous. And that matters because words don't just describe a person. They guide how we interpret that person's behavior. So let's start with how Cuomo sets up the interview. And then I'll put the question, or I'll put Natalie's answer right after, and then I'll pause and I will analyze. Thank you, Bowman. That makes Jay Bowman 2239. That makes me feel so much better. Oh, great. It's your first time watching it. Great. Thank you so much. That makes me feel better. So I will play this. Please let me know right away if you can't hear the audio. So let me do this. 1 second here.
Or her friends or people
Let me do this.
It is important perspective, if only to have a better understanding of what the possibilities are here, about why this happened. How do they have?
Okay, actually, I was wrong. This first one is just the opening, Cuomo's setup. So this is his opening.
It is important perspective, if only to have a better understanding of what the possibilities are here, about why this happened. How do they have?
And let me go back here. Oh, thank you, Jay Bowman. That makes me feel better. Okay, so now I know you can hear it. So this is the setup that Cuomo is giving for this. Let me get back here. Okay. This setup matters because Cuomo is framing Natalie's interview as important perspective, as something that may help us better understand why this happened. So from the start, this is not just an emotional interview with a mother. It is also a narrative opportunity. So he is giving Natalie room to say, here's a version of Mackenzie you do not understand. And that's important because this interview is not just about facts. It is about competing frames. So there's the public frame. Mackenzie is reckless, aggressive, volatile, dangerous. And then there is the family frame Natalie is about to offer. Mackenzie is young, misunderstood, spirited, loyal, and not capable of the intent the court found. That is why I wanted to start with Cuomo's setup. He is opening the door for a reframe. So that said, I'm going to play the first clip with Cuomo's question, and then Natalie's answer will be following immediately behind it. 1 second here.
Have who your daughter and how do they have who your daughter is wrong? How do they have who your daughter about why this happened? How do they have who your daughters are here about why this happened? How do they have who your daughter is wrong?
Would you want to be judged on your worst moments, challenges that you were dealing with in your life, situations that you were trying to learn how to navigate at a super, super young age? You're not really sure how to do it or if you're even doing it right, maybe stumbling through things. Life is full of all kinds of challenges. You surround yourself with good people that can help you get through those things, and then hopefully you grow through those moments and figure out how to do better and be better next time.
Okay, let me go back here. Okay, did you hear what just happened with Natalie? So messed up in screens here, guys. Hold on a second. Trying to find it. Yeah, great, Rufan. Thank you. And yeah, exactly. What is it? MT in Shelby? Yeah. Her worst moment was murder. Okay, so this is the first major frame shift that I wanted to go over. Cuomo asks a pretty direct question. How does the public have Mackenzie wrong? A direct answer might be something like, if you're being direct and honest, and the way most of us would probably answer this, the way I would answer it, unless I didn't want to answer it. And that's the key, unless I was trying to divert attention to something else. So a direct answer might be something like, they think this about her, but here are the facts that show something different. But as you heard, Natalie doesn't really start with specifics. She starts by asking the audience a question. Would you want to be judged by your worst moments? Exactly, Jay Bowman. She's not some naive teenager, exactly. Would you want to be judged by your worst moments? That changes the focus. Now we are not evaluating Mackenzie's behavior. We are evaluating whether it is fair to judge someone by the worst thing associated with them. And that is a powerful move because it asks the viewer to identify with Mackenzie. It moves the viewer from what did Mackenzie do to would I want to be judged that way? That is not a small shift, you guys. That is not a small shift at all. Then she moves through, challenges, being super, super young, not knowing how to navigate things, stumbling through things, needing good people around you, hopefully growing and doing better next time. And then she lands on the phrase, she was so little. And remember that because later she circles back to the same, she was so little phrase. So, and that phrase is doing a lot of work, emotional work. It doesn't just mean young, it creates an image. And that's what I love about language and communication. Words not only mean something, but they create an image for us, especially if you know how to skillfully use the language. You can direct attention and, understanding any way that you please with that. So her language here asks us to picture vulnerability. She's so little. It asks us to picture vulnerability, innocence, maybe even helplessness. But we're talking about a 17-year-old who was close to turning 18. She may have been young, yes. She may have been physically small. We know she was. But little in stature is not the same thing as harmless. And that's the distinction, because the public record and the reporting around this case suggest a much more complicated picture. Police involvement, school discipline, conflict, volatility, and people who experience Mackenzie as frightening or harmful. So when Natalie says she was so little, I don't hear that as neutral. I hear it as a softening frame. It shrinks Mackenzie emotionally. It moves her from a young woman with serious behavioral patterns into a little girl stumbling through teenage challenges. And again, this is why language matters. Well, I'm repeating myself now. One word can change a picture in the audience's mind. The thing that I don't think, and I think Natalie is trying to go against what we know now. And it's a lot easier to give this analysis when we can point to what is factually incorrect. It's not just our perception, it's what we know as facts. Yes. Yeah, Jay Bowman. Yeah, she appears to be narcissistic. Some would say, maybe borderline personality disorder. I can't say that for sure, but that's what it appears. And then Jay Bowman, well, next time she'll be bigger and she'll probably murder 6 people. Absolutely. Okay. So then I'll move on to the second clip. It's a Cuomo. I'm not necessarily a big fan of Cuomo, but he does he does take good notes here, because I'm assuming that Natalie doesn't know what he's going to ask her, but he seems to be prepared, for anything. So, which is good for a reporter. So to get to the next part. Okay. Here's the next question from Cuomo.
But she was so little.
When you say challenges that you're going through, help us understand what that means.
So like situations at school with other kids who are not kind to her or not kind to her friends or people she loves. She would always kind of insert herself into those situations to defend her friends. But then sometimes she would get in trouble for inserting herself into their situations and stuff. So we would kind of talk through those. And it's not that she's not right. It's just you got to follow the chain of command, the proper protocol to get things done and stuff. So she was just so little. She was just kind of learning how to be effective.
So in this one, do you hear what she did here? And I know you did, because you guys are pretty savvy here. Cuomo says, help us understand what these challenges mean. That's the natural follow-up to the last question, because she mentioned challenges, so he follows up with it. And this is where Natalie starts indirectly answering the bully aggressor issue before Cuomo says it directly. Notice a transition that happened there. School conflict becomes other kids were not kind. Mackenzie inserting herself into situations becomes defending her friends. Getting in trouble becomes not knowing the chain of command or proper protocol. And then Natalie says, it's not that she's not right. And I got to tell you, you guys, that line jumped out at me immediately, like it was a big neon sign. Because that is not the same as saying she was wrong, but we talked about better choices. Natalie does not really say Mackenzie was wrong. She protects Mackenzie's moral position. So the issue becomes method, not behavior. In other words, Mackenzie was right, and she just needed to go about it differently. And I understand wanting to encourage your child. I do. I understand wanting to see the best in your child. But sometimes, as a parent, you do not have to, but sometimes as a parent, you do have to say, no, you were wrong. Not just you used the wrong protocol, not just you needed to be more effective. Sometimes the behavior itself is the problem. And then Natalie says it again, as you heard, she was just so little. So now we have the second use of that same emotional frame. This time it is attached to school conflict. Mackenzie inserting herself into situations, getting in trouble, needing to learn protocol. All of that gets wrapped in the language of being little and still learning. But it probably goes without saying that other people may have experienced that same behavior very differently. What Natalie calls defending friends, others may have experienced as bullying, intimidation, disrespect, escalation, or chaos. And here is the anchor point for this whole section. The behavior doesn't disappear because the label changes. That label changes how we are invited to feel about the behavior. And that's the pattern we're watching. Wrong becomes ineffective. Bullying becomes defending friends. Aggression becomes strength. Conflict becomes protocol. And guys, that is narrative repair in action is what she's doing. So let me check the chat here. Yeah, exactly, Ruth Ann. Mackenzie can do no wrong in their eyes. And I think, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, and probably professional too, I think that's been Mackenzie's whole issue because I think that they never corrected her, it doesn't seem, in my opinion. Yes, exactly, Jay Bowman. He says, I guess she was misunderstood whenever she got all those infractions in prison. That's another point, because they're not telling her that that's wrong what she's doing in prison. So for that reason, she will probably be shocked when she gets her first parole hearing in it's less than 15 years away now, probably, and her being denied, because that's going to come back and bite her in the butt. And her parents are not going to tell her that, which I think is, it's not even unfortunate. I don't know what to call that, to tell you the truth. So we'll go on to the question 3. So she was, I'll go Cuomo's third question. Now, these are in order of the questions on the original video, just so you know. So when I go do other parts of it, it'll pick up from there. So here's the, let me get it, 3. Yeah. So he asks her directly now. He's like, Cuomo here does not miss a beat with this. So even though I don't know him, not a big fan, yay, Cuomo is what I'm thinking now because of this. So I'll go over here and we'll play the next question and answer. Let me find it.
In those situations.
A lot of drama, but she was the bully. She was the aggressor, and the school told you that. And that's why people are right to feel how they feel. What do you make of that?
There are some teachers at the school who like her strength and they like her spirit, and they try to cultivate that and help her. There are some teachers that super didn't. There's a lot of teachers that don't appreciate the strength in a child or a younger teenager, and they just want them to fall in line.
Wasn't just
So, and of course, I know that I'm always asking, this question because I know dang well, I know you guys heard what she just did here. So as you see, as I said, Cuomo didn't miss a beat. He directly addresses the bullying allegations, which we have all heard. He says basically, okay, but the public perception is not just that she was involved in drama. The perception is that she was the bully. She was the aggressor, and the school told you that. So, and that is much harder to soften, of course. He's directly calling this out. And Natalie's answer again moves right into reframing. She talks about teachers who like Mackenzie's strength and spirit. Teachers who tried to cultivate that. Teachers who tried to help guide her. But then she says, there are some teachers that super didn't. That phrase jumped out at me again because it intensifies the division. When she emphasized super didn't, she is not just saying some teachers had concerns, in my opinion. She is creating two categories. One category is the teachers who appreciated Mackenzie's strength and spirit. The other category is the teachers who super didn't. And then she explains that there are teachers who don't appreciate strength in a child or a younger teenager and just want them to fall in line, quote. That is very important reframe. Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay Bowman. Super didn't. Doesn't that does sound like a teenager language. Actually, I didn't even pick up on that. Good call. So that, those, teachers just wanted her to fall in line. That is a very important reframe. The conflict is no longer framed as Mackenzie versus boundaries. It becomes Mackenzie versus adults who couldn't handle her. That is a protective frame. It preserves Mackenzie's behavior as something positive, strength, spirit, and shifts the negative judgment onto the teachers who didn't receive it that way. And again, words matter here. When Natalie calls strength and spirit, what Natalie calls strength and spirit may be what other people experienced as intimidation, disrespect, bullying, or escalation. So the behavior doesn't disappear because the label changes. The label changes how we are invited to feel about it. And this is one of the clearest examples of identity repair in this section. So as you heard, bully becomes strong, aggressor becomes spirited, teacher's concerns become failure to appreciate strength, discipline becomes pressure to fall in line. That's not just answering the question, that's rebuilding the meaning of the behavior. And don't forget, if you watched another video, when she had the interview on the JFK channel, I was shocked that at one point they asked if she had trouble in school. And she said, well, yeah, there were issues, there were challenges. And then she said she had, Mackenzie would have, had fisticuffs with teachers. And I'm thinking, fisticuffs, that sounds like a fun little game. A lot of people, I found out after that, have never apparently heard the word before. Fisticuffs refers to fistfights, primarily fighting with your hands, but primarily fists. And I think JFK follows that up, and she says, well, when she was defending her friends, she got in fistfights with teachers. She hit teachers. So that's what she's saying. So let me take a drink here. Okay, now this next one will be the last question on this video. Then I'll open it up. We can do some chatting, find out what you guys think. Have you had any questions or any suggestions or anything like that? So, and this is a really, really short one, but I wanted you to hear it. So this is the fourth one that Cuomo asks her. And pay attention to Natalie's response to the language here, if you would. So let me do this. Okay. Go back. Okay, let me do this.
Wasn't just a kid experimenting with drugs. This was a heavy-duty, hard-hitter, wild child. And this was an extreme personality type who was open to reckless behavior, and that's how we got here. Fair assessment.
So she's not reckless or like a wild child. She was fun. She was vibrant, adventurous. She was fun.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, Kelly's struggling. Thank you. One excuse after another. It must be exhausting. I was raised, yeah, right, Rufan, yeah. She got into fights with teachers. Fisticuffs tries to make it sound more innocent than it was. Absolutely. And that's the softening move the entire time. And I really do believe that that's what they've done all of Mackenzie's life, which is sad for Mackenzie. She doesn't excuse Mackenzie, but parents' jobs are, to me, you like have one job as a parent, and it all includes everything else. You teach them how to conduct their lives, how to respect others, how to get along, how to stand up for yourself respectfully, if it comes to that. It doesn't appear that they put any of those in, into in her protocol, as it's called. It didn't put any of that there. And like I said, I do feel bad for her. And the worst thing is 2 young men lost their lives. And it shouldn't have happened. And I think from everything that I'm seeing about Mackenzie and the things that have come out, I think it was kind of a matter of time, because there was the incident where the girl, I haven't looked into it much, but was pushed down steps at a party at their house. So I think it was a matter of time. So I'll look into that more. So for this analysis for this, it's the same pattern again, as I said. Cuomo gives the harsher public frame. She says she's not just experimenting with drugs, it's heavy duty, hard hitter, wild child. See, extreme personality, open to reckless behavior. So you see how now this is a frame for you guys to consider. This is one frame of this. This is most of us have that. That's our frame too when it comes to Mackenzie, based on the body cam videos and the things that we've seen about her. So absolutely. So that's his frame. And then immediately Natalie rejects that frame. And I did, just to let you know, I took and things like that, fillers out of it, and took out the parts that were not needed to talk about this framing part. So it is edited to a certain extent, but these are still her words. So Natalie rejects that frame, as I said. She says Mackenzie is not reckless or like a wild child. She was fun. She was vibrant. She was adventurous. And then she finishes that up with, she was fun. Okay. That word vibrant is important in my opinion. Vibrant is a positive, airy word. It gives a feeling of color. Energy, life, charm. It invites the audience to feel warmth. But the same underlying energy, let me find it. But the same underlying energy, depending on the behavior attached to it, could also be described as reckless, volatile, chaotic, intense, impulsive, aggressive, or intimidating. So when Natalie says vibrant, she is selecting a sympathetic label. And that is the communication move. Cuomo is asking about behavior patterns. Natalie answers with identity traits. Those are not the same thing. A person can be fun and still be reckless. A person can be vibrant and still volatile. A person can be adventurous and still dangerous. A person can love their friends and family and still cause harm. So when Natalie says, essentially, that's not who she is trying to replace the behavior frame with the identity frame, the identity she'd like, I think, Mackenzie to have, what she wants us to believe. The audience is being asked to choose between two versions of Mackenzie. The public version built from reports, evidence, behavior, and consequences. And the family version built from affection, memory, loyalty, and positive identity words. And that is why this interview is so interesting from a communication standpoint. Natalie is not just defending Mackenzie. She is repeatedly rebuilding Mackenzie's identity for the audience. So let me pull this up. Hold on one second, please. Go over here. Okay, so let me pull this up. Now my neck is stiff because I stressed myself out earlier. So I appreciate you guys being here. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, let me do this. What do you guys think before I get into the next part? Yeah. Right, Jay Bowman, vibrant, he says. She only sees red. Absolutely. Like, that girl, I'd be scared of her. Well, you know, I could say I scare easily. It just depends on my mood. Let's put it that way. But yeah. So before we open this up more, to discussion and everything, I want to pull the pattern together. In just this first section, we see the same move over and over. Cuomo asks about public perception. Natalie answers with identity repair. Cuomo asks how people have Mackenzie wrong. Natalie says, would you want to be judged by your worst moments? Cuomo asks her about challenges. Natalie turns school conflict into defending friends and learning protocol. Cuomo asks about bullying and aggression. Natalie turns that into strength, spirit, and teachers who didn't appreciate it. Cuomo asks about recklessness and wild child behavior, which is his last question. Natalie turns that one into fun, vibrant, adventurous. That's the pattern. And I want to be careful here. I don't know whether Natalie was coached, whether she prepared talking points, or whether this is simply how she naturally communicates. But the language is very controlled compared to Steve's interview. Steve's interview, as we all know, with all of them, felt more reactive and emotionally scattered. Natalie's feels more organized. It has a message discipline quality to it. She keeps returning to the same identity frame. Mackenzie is young. Mackenzie is little. Mackenzie is loyal. Mackenzie is spirited. Mackenzie is fun. Mackenzie is vibrant. Mackenzie is misunderstood. And that repeated language matters, because once you accept that identity frame, it becomes harder to hold the harsher behavior frame in your mind. That is the power of framing. It doesn't necessarily change the facts, but it changes the emotional lens through which the audience receives the facts. Receives the facts. So now let's chat a little bit. What do you guys think? Open up to discussion. See what you guys are, what you think. Let's see. Hi, Wendy Williams. Welcome in. Wendy Williams enters the chat. I've seen your name, Wendy Williams. It's an unforgettable name. And I've seen you in other true crime chats too that I've visited. So welcome, Wendy Williams. Exactly, Jay Bowman. Steve is emotionally reactive to things. Natalie is a narcissist of the family. Yeah. At Kelly struggling. Jeremy, mom finally got what she created. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Jay Bowman, we got Kelly struggling. Thank you, Kelly struggling. Let's see if anyone knows. I don't think I've heard of Jeremy DeWitt, serial police impersonation. He's been in prison or jail for most of his life. Jeremy's mother is identical to Natalie and Steve. That's why Mackenzie is doomed. Oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to check into that. One of my best friends from, it was mid-80s. I know, I'm getting up there in years. Her last name is DeWitt. I don't think it's necessarily any relation, but yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Kelly struggling says, yeah, one excuse after another. It's exhausting. Yeah. And when I see it, I really do. And I've dug up some other facts that I didn't actually know, because I was wondering, where's everybody getting these body cams at? It looks like it's coming from another, oh my gosh, my mind went blank with it. I can't remember the name, not website, but YouTube channel. she probably did a FOIA request and got all these body cams, like the girl pushed down the stairs and just all the things. And so it went far beyond what Netflix did, with it. And I do think, because I'm going to do some analysis, and I hate listening to the jail calls. I really do. I tried the other day. I actually tried in another system I was in and didn't get it. Yes, Jay Bowman. Yes, thank you. Plunder. That is the one. So, and I happened to see some clips, and I'm thinking, I went to what the police, released and stuff, the Strongsville police, and I'm going, where are people getting these body cams? And then she played Plunder. It's always showing Plunder on it. I'm going, oh, I'll go to Plunder, and I'll be able to use little snippets of that and credit it, of course, because they're always great at that. Good afternoon, boss lady. Thank you. Thank you. You missed me in tears early on. LOL. Listen, I'm going LOL like I'm typing this. That's what I'm so, what I'm so used to doing. Exactly, Wendy Williams. It's the jail calls, number one, it's usually between Mackenzie and her mom. Natalie acts like she's a teenager. And if you listen, I'll do some analysis one day. It's like Natalie will hesitate. I was just gotten distracted by the chat. Natalie, sometimes she'll hesitate when after Mackenzie says something. And I feel like what she's doing is, well, how can I put this so that I don't upset her? So I think they know very well that she's out of control. She does have an issue, I think, in my opinion. These are all, of course, my opinion based on publicly available materials. And I think her mom and her dad are both scared of her. And they know one of these days she's going to get her butt kicked in prison, probably, eventually. Although where she's at, I can't believe she has her makeup and her hairdo and things like that, because it's a correctional focus. But it's like, oh my gosh. So, welcome, Colette Souza. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I made it without having a major meltdown, kind of close in the beginning, but it's because leading up to that, I was asking, ChatGPT was walking me through how to set it up. And I'm going, this is terrible. I'm going, you better tell me what to do now because I'm losing it. And so finally, I couldn't figure out how to get this, the clips over to, my mind went blank, like a Chrome tab. It was like, so yeah, exactly. Kelly's struggling with, so yeah, I really don't think Mackenzie will ever get it. She's, what is she now? She's got to be 21 or 22 by now, something like that. I didn't do the math. But if your mom never holds you responsible, I mean, if your parents don't give you rules and boundaries and teach you those things, it's going to be terrible when you grow up, because now she's being held accountable. And like I said, every time she tries, if you listen to the few calls that I've watched, if you listen to those prison calls with her mom, every time she tries to take responsibility, which she does sometimes, there's one where she goes, I think I was immature, but now a viewer that I did this video, and she listened and she said, no, she says, I think I'm immature. And Natalie goes, oh, hell no. She goes, you're way mature, something like that. And it happened so fast. It shocked me, and yeah, exactly. Wendy Williams. She will. Natalie will always refute it. Like you. And I think I have to believe that's the way she's dealt with Natalie, with Mackenzie. You have to tell your child they're wrong, and give them boundaries. And then they have to be, if they step over the boundary, they need to know that there's consequences. I don't think she was ever given consequences. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jay Bowman, you remember that? It's like, oh hell no. And I'm going, what the heck? This about gave me whiplash. And that's what, because the transcript of that video it didn't pick up because there was an over talking there. So I had to go back and listen to it several times. Hi, Jennifer Sims, welcome. Yeah. Jennifer Sims says her prison is programming facility, not a real prison, so to speak. You did a short, I did a short sentence in my early 20s for financial crimes. I was bipolar, unmanaged, but she is in a day camp. Thank you, Jennifer Sims, for that perspective. And I'm glad you're doing better. Yeah, my sister is bipolar, so it's not fun, and it can be really difficult to manage at times. So I'm glad that you seem to be doing very well. Thank you, Carolina Hurtado and Ruth Ann. Before this live stream, I'm getting distracted by this chat. Before the live stream, I'm in Ohio, and it started storming, and it's still, I'm thunder in the background now, and raining hard. And I was going to, if I hadn't have been so freaked out because I was, I couldn't get on in time, I was going to open up I'm opening up with sound effects. How do you like that rain and the rain and the thunder sound effects? And I have a metal roof on my apartment building, and so it's really loud when it rains. So I'm going, oh my gosh, only God, give me, praying, like, give me help, Lord. And it's like, okay, let me shake you out of this anxiety thing. Let it just pour the rain down on you. So, and, right, Kelly's struggling, no consequences for Mackenzie, but her sister seems to suffer the consequences. Although in the recent jail call that I listened to, that I was trying to analyze, but that didn't work out, it appears, or something like, maybe somebody was analyzing the email or the text message that was between Dom and Mackenzie, and he talks about her being grounded. So apparently she was grounded at some point, but I don't think it happened often. And if you read the messages between Steve and Mackenzie, oh my gosh. Now, I do want to say this, like, my mom, I don't reveal personal things very much, but I was raised, I always believed my mother was a malignant narcissist in the extreme. But now I really do think she had borderline personality disorder, and it was horrible. And that, but there's some things that my mom did right. Well, thank you, boss lady, for becoming a member. You're my second member. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm going to cry. I really don't cry. Well, I can't say I don't cry that much. Everything makes me cry, just so you know. I'm kind of an empath in a lot of ways. So thank you, boss lady. Thank you. Anyway, what I was going to say, my mom, my dad was more passive. I'm 65, so I was born in 1960. And if you spoke back to my mom, she would knock you across the floor. I'm not saying that's right, but we learned respect. And thank you so much, Wendy Williams, for becoming a member. Thank you, you guys. I'm so happy that you decided to. Thank you so much. You won't be sorry, I promise. What did you say, Carolina? Carolina, I had to give my pups calming bites. Oh, the storm. Yeah. Sometimes I need, sometimes you guys, I need calming bites because I don't have a basement. And so when it gets to like, it's an apartment, ranch style apartments. And when it gets really, really bad, it's horrible. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wendy Williams. That makes me feel so much better. I've actually had my channel for a long, long time, but well, as most people, if you join YouTube, you have a channel. It started as Mystic's Toolbox because that was the one angle for me, because I do have this mystical side that I use quite a bit, and sensitivity, empath, and everything. And I started posting videos about that, just on my experiences with synchronicity and everything, which is amazing when I get synchronicities. But then I thought, that's not really where my passion is. If I wanted to do spiritual content, if I wanted to be a coach or something, that's where I would go. But my thing was just sharing my experiences, synchronicities, which are incredible. Thank you, Ruth Ann, again, for being a new member. Thank you so much. Oh, yes, Wendy Williams. I didn't know that. Yeah, Hidden True Crime. The Gypsy Rose and Grand Amato comparison. Oh, thank you so much. That's why I love live chat, because I can learn these things. Yes, when I had a lot of synchronicities, just saying, I don't know how much you guys like or know or care about like synchronicities and things. When God, the universe, whatever you want to call the force, I watch, oh, thank you, Ruth Ann. You watch all of my videos. Thank you. When God gives me, the universe, whatever you want to call the force, gives me a sign, it's not just, because I don't get subtlety. You have to like knock me in the face with it. I mean, it has to be a neon flashing sign. And God just goes, okay, here, 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 here. And they all go together and go, oh my God. Yeah. Spirit. Yeah. Wendy Williams. Yeah. That's why you were drawn here. Spiritual and mystical people tend to gravitate towards the same circles. Absolutely. It's like I totally, I'll tell you guys sometime, I won't reveal it on here, just a set of synchronicities that was absolutely amazing. And it's leading somewhere. It's leading me somewhere. But a synchronicity actually led me. So I'm thinking, okay, what should I do? So I actually had this like breakthrough prayer, just so you know. I'm sorry if anybody doesn't like this kind of talk, but I'll just say it really fast because it's important to me. So I broke down because I lost my job and everything, and I didn't have any money. I didn't know what to do. So I got down on my knees, face down, and I never prayed like that. And I said, I got mad, and I kind of shook my fist at the heavens, at God, and said, I am the damn jackpot. I said, now do something. Everything changed. Everything. The next day, I had never done a YouTube video before. And thank you, new member, Carolina Hurtado. Thank you so much. The next day, I got a can of icing. This is kind of embarrassing because I don't remember thinking about, I wanted to be a YouTube creator, but I was afraid to go on camera because I'm really sensitive. I was afraid people would like call me ugly, and I weighed a lot more then. So fat and ugly and things like that would hurt my feelings. And so at this point, I just wanted money. And the next day I went and because I was feeling bad for myself because I got like scammed out of like $1,500. So I went to the dollar store and I got a can of icing. And as I'm driving home, I heard this voice inside me. It was me, but it was like this impulse. It said, as soon as I came in with a can of icing, it said, sit down, open that can of icing, put a spoon in it, and hit record and record a video. And I did not question it. I did it. The old me would have been like, no, because I can't, because what do people think or whatever? Thank you, Kelly, struggling. So, and I posted it to my Facebook. Well, somebody, because I was crying, my eyes were all swollen. I didn't have any makeup on, and I was just talking and eating like I'm so depressed, because, and I didn't tell people why I was crying, that I had been ripped off for $1,500. Thank you, Carolina Hurtado. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I'll be finished in just a second. But anyway, after that, somebody called for a welfare check, just so you know, after I did that on camera. But after that, then the next day, talking about the HTC, Hidden True Crime, I'd been wanting to do that. It was fresh. And I just woke up the next day, said, I think I'll do Hidden True Crime. And so I did intro, and then 1, 2, and then I do 3. I told everybody I would do 3 episodes of that. And I did. It blew up. And my intro video got 3,000, I think it was 4,000 views immediately. And that was my intro. And so then after that, it was still Mystic's Toolbox, but it wasn't doing so well because nobody I couldn't reconcile how to do Mystic's Toolbox with true crime. And since true crime was my real love for what I was doing, I totally changed the family or the name of the channel, and it's doing really well. So thank you, Wendy Williams. Okay, so I know you guys are busy. What time is it? It's 2:02. So, okay, so it's been a significant amount of time. So I will close. So, so let me get to the other part. So, so as we said, the next episodes that I think. Thank you, Gal Pam. Yeah, thank you so much. One sub from Cuomo. He's on the side very clearly. A huge letdown. Okay, Natalie's delusions ever aspect, like Mackenzie. Oh, thank you, Gal Pal. Oh, hi, Jay Bowman. No, it was Mystic's Toolbox. This was Mystic's Toolbox. I just changed the name. And I wanted to start, I wanted to put another channel as Mystic's Toolbox and just have that as a side issue and put all my other videos, because I talk about all my synchronicities, which are amazing. Thank you, Gal Pam. Is that what I said? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you, my experience was YouTube doesn't know where to place you. Like, who's going to be, I think true crime is a very big interest of a lot of people, but with the algorithm is going, well, what are we supposed to do with this? So then I started getting traction after that. And so I was doing HTC as Hidden True Crime and everything. Yeah. Thank you, Jay Bowman. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ruth Ann. Yes, I'm going to finish up. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all for the new memberships and everything. For any support, please remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm just so grateful you're here. I will feel so much better next time now that I've got the hang of everything. And you guys are just amazing. Oh, I don't know how to say that though. Gednona. It's like spaghetti. Is that what is spaghetti nona? Something like that. Greetings. If you just came in, you can get the replay and everything. So I'm going to finish up, and I'm going to do a part 2. I don't know when to schedule it yet, but I'll probably try to do it longer as far as the clips and everything. I didn't want to overload myself with too much pressure. So I want to thank you guys again for tuning in, for your wonderful comments. Thank you. Congratulations on, 1K. I'm monetized, and I've got over the 1,000 subs, and now I think it's 1,700 now. And so so I'm really, really happy about that. So I will let you guys go. Again, yes, and let me know, please share, like I said, subscribe. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. If I missed anyone, I'm so sorry, but I will go back in. There's a lot of, I was so stressed out at the beginning. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.